We've got another fine gentleman. He is the founder and CEO of Proverbs Air Conditioning. He's a speaker. And he's the man who can make the weather behave. If you don't like how you're feeling now, do we have anyone who's feeling cold? Feeling hot? Yeah, someone will make the weather behave. He has risen from a very limiting situation to a point where most people look up to him. To date, he has received, I think received is an understatement, he has harvested 7 awards. 7 awards, ladies and gentlemen, since the inception of his business. And this business is only 4 years old. So on average, he's receiving about 2 awards every year as an entrepreneur. Isn't that amazing, ladies and gentlemen? This is the guy who is going to give us the food for today. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for George Billionaire Munengwa.
A very good evening to all of you. I would like to begin with a word of prayer, so if we can just bow our heads. Father, we come before you this evening. I ask that as I share, may you open people's eyes, may you open their hearts, their spirits, and more so their soul, to receive that which I shall share. We bless you and thank you. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Wow. It's a privilege and an honor to be speaking to you today. And today I'm going to talk to you about the top 10 success principles that I have applied to be where I am today. A short glimpse about my life. George Munengwa, born in a family of 4. I didn't do very well in high school. I failed my O levels. I repeated. I went to Prince Edward. I worked at Zimex Mall. For a stint, I burned CDs, I sold clothes, I sold paint, I sold cars, I sold houses. Then eventually I found my passion in air conditioning. And Pro Air was founded in 2012. And ever since 2012, Pro Air has been doing amazing things in the country of Zimbabwe at Hall, where she had said we had received 7 awards. Actually, it's 12 awards that we've received. So God has been gracious and just to us. And today, in the midst of us, are my bosses, the people I report to every day. And I would love to acknowledge them. I would love to acknowledge George Junior Munengwa, if you can stand up, sir. This is my immediate boss. My daughter, Guguletu, if you could stand up. And my other son, Gabriel. I told them I'm going to do a presentation, and they said, you can't go and talk about our company without not being there. So please, thank you. Please give them a big round of applause. You can take your seats. You can sit down. Ladies and gentlemen, today, because of time, I'm going to be speeding up on these top 10 things that have made me be who I am. And I believe these principles are going to apply to every single person in here, because these are things very summarized. I know I don't have a lot of time, but I'm going to try and be to the point as I can be to deliver something that I know if you implement. I always say to people, whenever I speak, Zimbabwe is very good with people who listen and who go to school and who get masters and PhDs, but it doesn't have a lot of people who apply what they hear. And a person who has a notebook and a pen and paper is somebody who is more likely to remember and actually do the things that I'm going to say. Somebody who hears, you won't really remember everything I say, but the things that I say that provoke and challenge you are the things that you should jot down and take a glimpse of when you get home. So point number 1, right? The thing that has made Pro Air become a successful company, like you were told earlier on, we specialize in air conditioning and refrigeration. So we do air conditioning from your car, your home, your office, including portable air conditioning. And my number 1 top rule of success, these are in no order of hierarchy. Number 1 is believe in yourself, right? Believe in yourself. I know a lot of you have heard this so many times in so many places. Now I want to tell you something. In 2012, when we started Pro Air Conditioning, I remember I got a vision. I want to start this company, and I started running. A lot of people, when I used to wake up early in the morning and go to Borrowdale Road and go to town and start distributing flyers to cars, a lot of people that I grew up with were like, people didn't understand what I was doing and what I saw. And if I didn't believe in myself, I would have never done that. And from that, one of our very first big orders came from somebody who says, wow, I got one of your flyers along Borrowdale Road, and that's how I got a hold of you and I found out where you are. So it's so important to believe in yourself. A lot of people will tell you this, that, and the other about whatever you want to do, but the most important thing is what you believe about yourself. Another story, when I wanted to start my own father, I resigned from the other air conditioning company I was working from, and I told my father, you know what, I've got twins, I can't afford, I'm getting $300 at the end of the month, I can't pay for rentals, I can't even pay for their pampers. And if I didn't believe in myself, I would have never done that. And from that, one of our very first big orders came from somebody who says, wow, I got one of your flyers along Borrowdale Road, and that's how I got a hold of you and I found out where you are. So it's so important to believe in yourself. A lot of people will tell you this, that, and the other about whatever you want to do, but the most important thing is what you believe about yourself. Another story, when I wanted to start my own father, I resigned from the other air conditioning company I was working from, and I told my father, you know what, I've got twins, I can't afford, I'm getting $300 at the end of the month, I can't pay for rentals, I can't even pay for their pampers. What should, I've decided to resign and start on my own thing. I remember when I told my father that, the next day he came to me and said, George, hope it's ndarota mwanangu. Ndarota wakapfeka mamvemve. Zvokuti zvimwe handisi kunzwisa, ndofunga zvawakandudza nezuro Mwari ada kutaura neni kuti ndikuudze usati waita zvauda kuita izvi. Nekuti zvauda kuita izvi zvinogona kuzokukanganisa kumberi uko. Now I want to tell you something. Whenever you are destined for huge success, the enemy will send your closest people to try and burn out that flame that is inside you so that you don't see where you are going. And for me, my father was very close to me. And had I listened to him, it was first my father, then my stepmother. They said, George, and I remember I didn't speak to my father for 3 months. I said, the next time you have a dream, you and my mom, please keep it to yourself, because I don't need that with where I see myself going. And you know what, I was having a laugh with my dad some time back when we were at an award ceremony and when we were at the sports stadium. About, mamvemve nechichi, honai kwatakagara nevanhu vatinavo. Zvakanzi unoziva mweya tsvina sometime unombouya uchi. But I am happy that you believed in yourself. So number one, believe in yourself. It doesn't matter what anybody tells you. As long as you know and believe that this thing is going to work out, believe in yourself and tell yourself that it can be done. Number two, one of my favorite things, and this is exactly where we are today, right? Your association determines your destination. Your association determines your destination. Right, what does that mean? The people you hang around with are the people that determine where you will be. I want you to write this down as well. You are only as rich as your relationships. You are only as rich as your relationships. Right, we've read in so many books, so many motivational speakers have told us, you are a sum total result of the people you hang around with. That is very true. I want you to look at your top 5 friends right now. Value them in US dollars, right? 300, 400, 500. You are the average of your friends. And I call myself George Billionaire. Why? Because my associations and the people that I want to associate with are of those figures. Therefore, if you associate and you rub shoulders with people like that, your mindset, which is the most powerful tool that you have, will begin to see more zeros than your current friends that you just thought of right now. So you're only as rich as your relationships. One thing about me, especially when I started, I found that I had a lot of friends. I had to lose a lot of friends with where I wanted to go. because I wanted to build not only a local company, but a multinational. See more zeros than your current friends that you just thought of right now. So you're only as rich as your relationships. You know, one thing about me, especially when I started, I found that I had a lot of friends. I had to lose a lot of friends with where I wanted to go, because I wanted to build not only a local company, but a multinational organization. So a lot of my friends, when you're thinking, hey, Sha, I need $22,000, to your friend who is earning $200 may be very offended by your vision. And with your friends, they want you to remain at the same level. So I had to make a bold statement. And you'll find that entrepreneurship is a very lonely game. You become very lonely. You get to spend more time alone because people don't think the way you think. People aren't seeing what you are seeing. So you will become somebody who's closed up. And now you can't share with your friends because they'll become offended. And they will blow out that bubble that is inside of you. Number 3. Now, if anybody knows me on social media or wherever I am, today I was going to dress in my Pro A attire, but my bosses said, don't worry, we will represent you. And as you can see, my bosses are dressed in Pro Air t-shirts. My number 3 top rule of success is love what you do. Right? Love what you do. Love what you do so much that when people see you, they know what you do because you always talk about it. You're always about it. And if you see me on Facebook, on all these social platforms, there's not a day, there's not a morning, there's not an afternoon, there's not an evening that I'm reminding you about what I do. I remember early on in the first days of business, my wife used to say, why don't you come and sleep? Because it's 1 a.m. Because I was trying to understand the top air conditioning trends. I was trying to, wherever I was going, I just didn't want to be seen wearing any t-shirt. I wanted to wear Pro Air regalia. And with my kids, now that they closed school yesterday, they've got enough clothes to brand them every single day of the week, Monday to Friday. And they're so excited that, wow, we're going to work with Dad. And I'm doing that because I'm trying to deposit something in them so that they can understand what it is that I do. So you need to love what you do. To people who know me, I'm always dressed in red, blue, white. I always say hashtag red, blue, white, Pro Air ZW, because I'm always dressed in my corporate colors. I'm always dressed in what I do, and I have a passion for it. And I always say, when you love something, when that thing in return loves you back, it will take care of you. Right? I'll repeat that. When you love something so much, when that thing begins to love you back, it will take care of you. That the days I used to go and distribute flyers on the street, I may not do that as regularly now because people know Pro Air, because I've done things back then that have made people now, when they think air conditioning, they think of the first thing in their mind, and that is Pro Air. So number 3, love what you do. Number 4 is focus, right? Focus. And I'm going to abbreviate focus for you. Focus. Focus, abbreviated, stands for follow one course until success. Follow one course until success. Follow one course until success. For you to be remembered, you need to be somebody who is known for a specific thing. Right? A lot of you see me, and some people call me Mr. Pro. People call me the weatherman. Some people call me all these words. Why? Because in their mind it is embedded that, oh, that's Mr. Pro Air. That's the air conditioning guy. That's what he does. What do people say when they see you? What one thing are you following that when people see you, they say, hi, this is this? When I say Oprah Winfrey, to you immediately, without a doubt, you see the Oprah Winfrey Show. When I say Steve Jobs, immediately your mind runs to. If I say Michael Jordan, if I say Sir Alex Ferguson, if I say Cristiano Ronaldo, if I say Puff Daddy, Sean Combs, immediately there's something in your head. What are people saying about what you personally are doing? Have you followed one course so much that people know you? For us at Pro Air, we've been in existence since 2012 April. We just turned 5 years. This is our 5-year month when we started. And because I've stuck true to one thing for 5 years, people can identify me with that thing. Now, if you are somebody who today you are doing laptops, tomorrow you are doing shoes, tomorrow you are doing printers, the next day you are doing that, it's very difficult for you to reach a destination called success. Therefore, you need to follow one course until you succeed. Right. Number 5, hard work. Right, hard work. You have to work hard. You know, successful people are people who work hard. And there's no person that I know who works harder than me in my trade. There's no person who researches like me. There's no person who goes to air conditioning expos. There's no person who can tell me about a multi-V system. There's nobody in my industry. Why? Because I work harder than everybody else. If you are ever going to be successful in life, you can't be murmuring and complaining and telling people about the economy. That's not good enough. You have to work hard. Successful people are people who are self-driven. You don't have to be motivated by anybody for you to work hard, especially entrepreneurs, because you know where you want to go. For me, I did the things that I did back then because I know where I want to go. So other people may not understand my long nights, my early mornings, my sleepless nights of me first. I remember the first time I went to an Aircon Expo in 2012. I had to go on a bus border, and this expo was happening just for 2 days. And I only got to the expo at 12 o'clock and it was finishing at 3 o'clock. So others had already had another day and that. But when people see me, they don't know the hard work, the sweat that I had to go through for me to be where I am. And you find every successful person has a story about their past, which they persevered and they worked harder than every single person. Right, number 6, be seen, be heard, be remembered. Right? Be seen, be heard, be remembered. With whatever you're going to do, you need to be seen. Right? With Pro Air, we've got buses, we've got vans, we're on social media, we've got audios, we've got this, we've got so much stuff that we've done for people that when they hear of Pro Air, when they see of Pro Air, they always have top of mind awareness. So in order for you to be successful, you need to say, okay, how is my business going to be remembered by somebody who sees it the very first time? I always say to people who do branding and all this, you know so much about your organization. And if I was to say to somebody, without you seeing the bottom of the banner at the back, the air conditioning, if you just see that, can you identify with what exactly they do? And that's a question to you. You may have a business card. Give somebody your card and say, hi, what do you think we do? Just by showing them. A lot of people, because you know your brand, you think everybody else knows it. But get feedback from people. The first days, why we ended up putting air conditioning at the bottom, people thought we were an airline. I remember when we went to Victoria Falls and our guys were dressed in nice stuff and they saw Pro Air. They're like, wow, when did this airline start? And we're like, no, we are not an airline. We are an air conditioning company. So what you need to do with your brand, people see it differently. You, the owner, the founder, can know, I know what this is. But ask somebody in the street, hi, what do you think about this? Oh, then you'll get to your mind open on what exactly people see about your business and what your business is communicating to people. So remember, be seen, be heard, be remembered. You'll get the best advice from the most unlikely sources, especially when you ask. Right, number 7, is that correct? Do it for those who want to see you fail. Right? Do it for those who want to see you fail. You know, for me, this is one of my most favorite sayings. For those who ever have a chance to come to my office, you'll see I've got the 12 people that made George a billionaire. there's a big banner in my office, and there's so many people when I started, including my own father, my own mother, my brother, my friends, who didn't think I was going to make it, who thought what I was doing, I was going to fail. And because of them, they don't know how much motivation they actually gave me. For me, I love those challenges where people say it can't be done. I was going to fail. And because of them, they don't know how much motivation they actually gave me. For me, I love those challenges where people say it can't be done. That's actually what pushes me more. I love it when people say that. The way I met my wife. Now. And for me, something about that attracted me to her. People were like, hey, oh yeah, tangike. And for me, that was a challenge. I was like, I like that. Okay, let me go. I'm on a strategy. So for me, it motivates me so much when people belittle me or think I can't do what they think I am putting my mind to. So a lot of you in here, people have told you can't make it. That gives me fuel. And I call myself George Billionaire. And I say this always to people. Some people may say, do you know what a billion? There's a big, very wealthy man in the country who we all know him. And he says, Iwe, unoza the billionaire mazero mangani? And I was like, yes. Hans, do you think you'll ever account and amount to a billion? And I said, you know what? I hope you'll be alive to see it, because you know what? I'm going to get to that status quo. And I always say to people, there's one time, maybe 5 years down the line, you'll be watching the television and you'll be like, wow, that's that guy. Remember George Billionaire from Harare Business Forum? And you're watching CNN and you're watching me being interviewed. How did you do this? And you know why I believe in that so much? Because I believe in myself. I'm not worried what you think. I'm not worried if you know there's $1 in my account today. But I know for fact that I'm going to be a billionaire. I know I was not sent on earth to be mere average. I know God put me to this planet to leave a lasting legacy, that the whole earth will know that there was a man called George who was here. And why I do that is because there are a lot of people who didn't believe in what I said I'm going to do. So that motivates me. And why am I telling you this? I want you guys to be part of the people he told us at Harare Business Forum in April 2017 that he wasn't a billionaire then, but he told us, and you know what? Now he's arrived there. So do it for those who want to see you fail. Right? Do it for those who want to see you fail. Number 9. I love this one so much. Number 8, is it? Right, number 8. Whatever you don't celebrate, whatever you don't celebrate, you will never attain. Whatever you don't celebrate, you will never attain. Now I'll tell you guys a story of, I remember I got my first award in 2012, and that was when my mentor, the man of God who told me to resign, gave me an award. So a lot of people were like, George wangupiwa award na Pastor Victor Kambasha because do vakakutotange business, this, that and the other. And to me, I was like, you know what? It still means a lot to me. Because to tell you the truth, the very first award I got, I remember when I was 20 years old, I had a dream just after I finished my A-levels. I had a dream. I was wearing a red blazer and I was getting an award, and there were so many people. And I remember I went to my father and I said, Baba, pane zvandarota nhasi, ndarota paine vanhu vakawanda ndichipiwa award. It was so crystal clear. Zvekuti ndaona zvinhu zvese, this, that and the other. And my father called my brothers and sisters and said, where munzwe zvekutaura George? George arutanza arota aine award. And you know what? I wrote that dream down. There's something so powerful with having a journal, right? Something so powerful. If ever any of you come to my office at any time, please ask to see my diaries from 2005 up until today and see the crazy things I used to write and how they have come to pass. I am a writer. I love writing things that are crazy, that are far beyond me at that time. And I told my father, and little did I know that only 7 years later, when I was 27, the award I got for upcoming entrepreneur of the year in 2012, only when I got on stage did it all make sense. You know that deja vu moment when you see, wow, this is what I saw. And I was like, wow, that's the dream I had when I was that young. And all I could see Minister Mzembe, all the people, and they were standing up and clapping for me. And people at first, thought, yeah, wakango piwa, because, he's the man. But one thing that I have learned about celebrating others, what you don't celebrate, you'll never have. If you can't clap hands for somebody else who's getting an award, you will never have an award. If you don't stand up for somebody when they are coming to speak, nobody will stand up for you. If somebody who is old comes in and they want to sit, if you don't stand up for somebody, when you become old, nobody is going to stand up for you. One thing about me, from 2012, I never received any awards until 2015. And from 2015 until present, Pro A has received 11 awards. And if I'm to tell you, I've been to 10 award ceremonies of my friends. I would go, I would celebrate, I'll be like, wow. When he's speaking and he's doing I would take a video and a picture and be like, hey, I took pictures of you. And I'll send them to him be like, wow, well done, I'm so proud of you, this, that, and the other. And what happens, God can see your heart. And when he sees your heart is genuine and open, God will give you the exact same thing. And if I'm to tell you, the people that I have been to award ceremonies, similar awards, Entrepreneur of the Year, Director of the Year, Leadership Excellence, this, that, and the other, they similar awards that I celebrated. Those awards also I got. So it's a very simple principle. If you hate on somebody who is successful, you're not going to become successful. It's simple. If you are murmuring and complaining and you're doing this, that, and that about somebody else, you won't ever reach that extent of success. So it's very important. Celebrate others. What you don't celebrate, you will never have. And I know this specific one here, don't be somebody who is found just talking negative things about people. Don't be found in the halls talking about, ningi, dofunga akazovara ningi. Don't do that. Speak positively about others. Tell them, you know what, he did that through hard work. That's that. Because when you become successful, you don't want people to start saying bad things about you too. Right? Number 9, never belittle or look down upon people. Never belittle or look down upon people. The person you're sitting next to right now is a millionaire. The person you're sitting next to right now. I'll tell you guys a story. God has taught me lessons the most hard way. But every lesson that I've learned, I'm so open to teaching and sharing with people. I remember there was once in a hardware in town, Ndaga Park and remote Pro Air. Then this guy in an overall comes to me and he knocks per window. And we're like, komonoyu, overall siagashriba, chi. Hi, say, how are you? Can I please have your card? So I was with one of my technicians in the car. And then we looked at this guy and I got, card. But please, can I have your card? Aircon, and he nagged us 3-4 times. Then I just gave him my card. And to me and my workmate, we belittled this man because we thought, why? I would give him my card. I gave him my card, he went. First thing tomorrow morning, he called me, hi, Mr. Munengwa, ndini John wamakasangana pa hardware. Dokumbiro kuti moye kumba ku speed pa number 45 chi. Then because I had that, that day I didn't go, right? The next day he calls me, hi, Mr. Munengwa, ndi John uya wamakasangana ndakafona nezuro mukati muri kuya, amuna kuzokuya. Please, munogona kuere pane zviri agent. And this was in the morning. In the afternoon he called. I got, you know what? Let me just drive. Didn't go end. I had judged him. The moment I got to the house, I see this very beautiful, big 2-story building. Then I dashed it, hi, Mr. Mlingu. Panapa ndikukufonera kuti chi? Muise my aircon panapa. Munukoneta quotation quickly. As he's saying that, the boss drives in an S500. Chinyuan, nice car. Shakanze, hi, ko shangwari ndatuma mkomano wangu na nasa msati maita quotation inda. I need these aircons done now. And me and my workmate had belittled this person. And tichikupedza quotation, we did the quotation, you're looking at about 22 aircons and this, that and the other. It will cost you 20,000. Shakanze, okay, how soon can you start? Inda, I need these aircons done now. And me and my workmate had belittled this person. And tichikupedza quotation, we did the quotation, you're looking at about 22 aircons and this, that and the other. It will cost you 20,000. Shakanze, okay, how soon can you start? Not as soon as you make payment. Shakanze, okay, here's 15,000 cash. Please start as soon as possible. I want to move into this house next week. Had I never went to that person's house, remember I had judged him. Nangadamuveta, damulevela. Hapana baba. Hapana chinobuda nemunhu akadai. And as soon as the boss left, Shakanze, but akomana ndakakufonera kangani muchinitarisira pasi. The next day when I saw him, he was dressed in a suit. Shakanze, you know what? When I'm on site and I'm doing renovations, I have to dress like this. Because ndikutamba netrina nechi. But you should never look down upon anybody. And you know, I learned one of my most important lessons. Kune munhu wese waunoti hana basa, pane munhu muhombe waanoziva. Zvekuti iyeye, only munhu iyeye anogona kuchinja your situation. That story for me, I've never, whether it's a security guard, ever since that day in 2015, I changed my view towards people. Because this big man was like, chero mota dzangu nyuwanza ndinonotenga. Uyu ndiye anaenda achinobhadhara achipiwa. I don't have time to get into town. Saka, this is my right-hand man. He does all what I want him to do, and he does it to excellence. Then I learned a lesson. It can be a security guard, it can be your maid, it could be anybody. Munhu wese pane munhu muhombe waanoziva in life. The way you treat that person is the way they will vouch for you and say, you know what, this is a good man. I remember he gave me a lift into town one day, and you know what, please buy from him, buy from her, because I love his attitude towards things. It's important. Never belittle anybody. That's one of my most important principles to success. And number 10, are we on number 10? Number 10, right. The very first order I got, this is a story that all of you are going to love. I love telling stories because stories will make you see the realness of what I am telling you. The very first, I resigned in April. I resigned on March 31st, and I started Pro Air in April. And what I did when I got my $250 from the company that I used to work for, I had left the company $250. I registered a company, Proverbs Investments. I went to a place, I did a company profile, I did business cards. I went to everyone that I know. My father's friends, my brother's friends, every single person when I say I'm town. And they have to know that air conditioning company. But little did I know, this was on the 19th of April. My profile, I've given every single person who I thought would help me and aid me start my business. Remember, the company is called Proverbs Investments. Why did I name it Proverbs? Because Proverbs is my most favorite book in the Bible, and I read it every single day. I was in my friend's office who I had asked $10 for before, the day before. Because I'm around, no visitor my company. So today I was in his office, parked by Nelson and 4th, and I had parked there because I was staying in Eastleigh at that time. So I parked the car there, so I'd walk in town, then I'd come back. I went to his office by ZTA House. Then as I was sitting in there, I was demoralized. I was thinking, wow, and because nobody has responded. Nothing has happened. But something told me, open the Bible and go to your favorite book. And as I was flipping Proverbs 1, 2, 3, I got to 3. And on 3, Proverbs 3, verse 5 until 10, highlighted. I want you to write Proverbs 3, verse 5 to 10. I want you to read this and really meditate on it when you get home. It highlighted. I had never highlighted that passage in my book, but it highlighted. And it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. Acknowledge the Lord in all your ways, and He will guide your paths. To me, it was an answer, because nakanda manya kune vanhu vese vandiri kufungira kuti vachandibatsira. But little did I know that passage was trying to communicate something to me. No. Success does not come from the immediate people you think. As soon as I finished reading that passage, I got a phone call. Hi, is this George? Yes. Munita my aircon? Yes. Can you come to Newlands? Pagadai. I quickly went there. I got there. Big house. Long story short, another big, it was about 15, 20 aircons. That job alone confirmed what was said to me when I was asked to resign. Because when I was asked to resign by a man of God, he told me that, George, God has greater plans for you. And it's time you do this, because there were a lot of things that were happening where I used to work. And the profit I made from that one job equated to 5 years my salary. Get this correctly. On the first job. And this did not come from the people that I knew. And you'll see on our banners, on our uniforms, at the top right corner, on our business cards, wherever you see you'll always see Proverbs 3, verse 5, and it says, trust in the Lord. Why am I telling you this? Whatever business you want to start that does not have the foundation of God is not going to last long. You can run as hard as you want to run. You can do whatever you want to do, but as long as your principal foundation is not on God, you are not going to go far. You can go up, but your coming down will be very imminent and very destructive. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. That is point number 10. And you know, to every single person who is in here, these are my top 10 success principles. And I know people who are in here today, as many as we are, the thing that you've done today is something that I always used to do. I love going to learn from successful people. I love hearing from people who have made it. Not only hearing, but I love applying what they say, especially with the stories that I have told you. You know, when you attend many forums like this, you begin to understand and you get shortcuts to success. Because the stories that I've told you about not undermining anybody, about trusting God, about believing in yourself, about my father telling me I can't do it. All of you may have gone through this, but you never had somebody tell you the realness of what they did for them to be where they are. But next time when somebody says it can't be done, you need to be bold and confident. Say, you know what? I know who I am. I can do this. When somebody says, but the most important thing is to know who powers you. We were all created by the Creator. The Creator sent us here for a purpose. And if you don't go back to the Creator and plug into what He wants you to do, you will run the whole world amiss. Doing this, then tomorrow that, then doing that, then doing that. Because you haven't found your purpose and your calling. And you are not following one course until you reach success. You are doing all sorts of things. And one thing that I know is true, I've worked in 6 different fields before I found my purpose and my passion. Wherever you are, you may be working. God put you there for a purpose and for a season. My selling ability today originated from burning CDs at Eastgate, my very first job, from selling cell phones at Zimex Mall and Hustling, from selling clothes, from selling paint. Everybody's story is different. So God allows certain things to happen. We've all read the Bible about Joseph. He went through certain things in his life for him to be where he is at. But had he not gone through those things, he would have never been the prime minister of a foreign land. To somebody who is in here today, I want to urge you that, you know what, quit complaining, quit memory, begin to see yourself as what God has seen you. And when you were born a winner. Because biologically, if you look at the biological process of you to being here today, it was a race by millions, and you won that race, biologically speaking. For you to be here today, it was a race that you won. So you were born a winner. But ladies and gentlemen, to finish off, I want to tell you one thing. My number one point, believe in yourself. The word of God says the enemy comes to kill, steal, and to destroy. Right? The thing that the enemy is, a lot of people think it's material things. It's not material things. You were sent on this planet for a purpose. So what the enemy does, he knows that if he plants this person in this environment, he'll revolutionize the world. He'll build churches. He'll take care of less privileged people. He'll, change the world because he will have enough. So what he does, he conquers your mind. He steals your self-belief. He steals your morale. He steals those affirmations. I'm the head and not the tail. I can do all things with Christ. Those things he steals from you. And when he steals those things, you personally now have disbelief. That when people say you can't do it, you end up saying, but hey, sure, kutanga company economy yakadai. I don't think, because so that means, but there is a particular grace upon you when you start. For me, my very first job equated to how many years my salary. That's just one job. That's just a way God is trying to say, you know what? You've tried your own way. Now I've shown you the way. Now stick to this. You'll find in business, my personal friends have not supported me. My personal friends, wakatanga business, they won't come and buy your product. Simba, they won't buy your book. They won't. Simba, what was to support a. And for me, I don't need support from my friends. Because no one knows if I'm those are your friends. Those are typical real people. But God has an unusual way of blessing you. One wasinga kuzive. One gotenga 20 aircons, 50 aircons, ka one. You won't even fungira 1, 2. But God has a way, especially when you fall in line with your purpose and your calling, that when He opens doors for you, kana wega asisina effort. Yeah, God just opens the doors and we're going to and for me to testify the truth, the awards I've received, the acknowledgements I get when I get to the highest offices in the land, the way people look up to me, the way people respect me, I never saw that before. But because I've fallen in line with my purpose, Mr. Mnyangwa, this is the owner of this company, this, that, and that. It can be nobody else but God. Because I've seen where I've come from. A lot of people think, George akakurira Glenora, where they were in a 2-bedroom, sofa, all this. But because George was a private school in Antaura Chirungu, and people think, no, akakurira Borodale, they had it bright and rosy. But people don't know the real story of where I came from. And people don't know when I can testify to say, you know what, for me to dress like this, this, that, and the other. But one point when I'm down, but the things I went through, I can only testify that it's God who has done this for me. All the success I have. In Proverbs 3 verse 5, you see, acknowledge the Lord in all your ways, and He will direct your paths. A lot of successful people, especially in here, whenever you get successful, when people say, wow, how did you do it? Right? Don't suck the glory. Quickly deflect it to the person who made you who He is, who you are today. You know what? I just want to thank God. Because if it wasn't for Him, I wouldn't be standing here today. A lot of people, it gets to their head. I will end up church. It gets to you. But humility is important. When people come to you and you're like, wow, you're so successful. That's what led to the fall of the devil. When things get to your head, that's where the real you begins to kick in. Today, if I was to give any one of you $1 million, I'm talking about success principles. Get this. If I was to give you $1 million, the true inner you will begin to come out. Unu wako chayo chayo. Unu chayo. Kwete humility amina ye. And then your true self. Shakutu uchifamba kana mafambira onengo ochita. You know, step in no changer. That's when you say, we are not a remota. We are not a richi. We are not a hembe. We are not a. But when you have money, have a sober mind. When you get money in the account, usavunduke kuti Twitter say, I want to rekanibenda Dubai rekanbo kambenda Cape nibenda Joburg Santon ndinono mbo shopa because ansaka mbona mari inde yangu. Be sober minded. Take time. God, I thank you for this money. Give me wisdom on how to build and increase my business. Help me to use this money in the right way. When a lot of people get blessed, wanomboshayika ku church, wanozoya ku church mari yapera. That's people for you. But when you have that, have a sober mind, because that's where God tests you. God will only bless you to the level you're always able to give back. So when God blesses you with $1,000 to all those who tithe, who give back, God will only bless you. Akakupa 10,000, wona wakupaparika, no level yako. God won't bless you beyond that because He can see your maturity level. But when you are able to give back to help the less privileged, God will be like, I like this person. Let's continue making this person a success because he knows he's got the character of me. He gives back. He's not only thinking of his family alone, but he's also helping others. He's also paying fees for others. He's also doing this. When you do that, God will consistently supply your needs. These are simple principles that if you begin to apply in your life, I can guarantee you, compared to your peers and the people you hang around with these keys that I've given you, your life will never be the same. When you get money, auchamanya kuti reka ndinotenga inonzi perfume inodhura ya ine suit ya that 3-piece suit reka nditenge. Those are things that with time you can acquire when God has really blessed you. But focus with growing your business. Focus with also giving back. Whenever you are blessed, don't just think of your own bosom. Give to your church. Give to an old people's home. Give to a family in your neighborhood that doesn't have. That thank you that they give you is an answered prayer that they would have prayed to God for. And God will shower more blessings upon you. You may not see directly which blessing is God opening up and feeding you back for what you've done. But I've learned that, and I tell you, you will not have lack if you are continuously giving. Ladies and gentlemen, I think my time is up. I have spoken. Chairman, sir, apologies for going on and on and on. But I believe these were important principles that I know if you apply. I'm going to ask the twins. They are going to come and tell you something. Please come up. They are going to tell you something about their own success principles. And I need you guys to write these down. One thing I have done with these amazing children is that at a young age, you need to start telling them and teaching them principles that they need to start applying, whether it's at school, whether they are running at school, whether they are competing in sports. And ladies and gentlemen, give them a big round of applause as they do their presentation.
Hi, my name is George Munengwa Emmanuel. Today I'm going to tell you about my top 3 success rules. Number 1, be confident. Because you have to talk loud and don't be shy. Number 2, work hard. Work hard in private and celebrate in public. Number 3, never hang out with losers, else you become a loser. Hi, I I am Guguletu Munengwa. Today I'm going to tell you about my top 3 success rules. Number 1, listen to God. If you don't listen to God, God will not help you. Number 2, believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, nobody will help you. Number 3, just do it. No matter what people say, just do it.
Thank you, guys. Those are their success principles, and you'll find that at a young age, George is the fastest runner in his school because I made him see the top 10 success principles that Usain Bolt did. And what he did, one of his secrets is that you need to work hard in private so people can celebrate you in public. And you know, I get home sometime and I see him running around the house because he's practicing for the big race that's at school. And now he's the fastest runner in his school. For Guguletu as well, she's an amazing athlete at school. Why? Because they see these things. Now imagine at a young age what they will achieve. A lot of us, when we were growing up, we were filled with, you can't do this. When you were 5 years old, and when you grew up, you had limitations. But when you begin to do this to your kids and begin to empower them, I can only imagine, and I urge you to watch them as they grow. You will read about them. You will see how they will begin to build empires at a young age. You will hear about the youngest millionaires. Why? Because they're confident. They can do it. They don't think that they can't do it because they have positive affirmations about themselves. You know what? I just want to thank Harare Business Forum. This is an amazing platform. And I say to every single person who is here, this time that you have sacrificed, you have not sacrificed amiss. A lot of people are in town doing something else. But the nuggets, the wisdom, and the things that you have caught today, if you apply these things, if you learn from these things will transform your life. You will not become an average person. So many people hear the word of God on Sunday. Some say, how was the word? It was powerful. It was this. Pastor was on fire today. But what did they do with the word? Nothing. I know that every single person who is in here took some notes down. And you are going to apply these principles. And when you do that, you will definitely see a change in your life. I urge all of you, I've got a Facebook page written George Billionaire. That's where you will begin to understand. I share a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge. I've done, like 100 videos on there of my walk and my journey. So to all of those who are on Facebook, go to George Billionaire, like that page, and watch those videos. I believe the word of God says, my people perish because of lack of knowledge. The more you feed your mind, don't watch all these series and all these unnecessary things. Watch things that motivate and provoke you. I love what Coach Blessing said earlier on. You need to feed your mind with the things that you want. If you're feeding your mind with negativity, that's all you'll ever get. But when you begin to see things that provoke, if somebody broke the record, and then after that other people started breaking the record, what's stopping you? God created all of us for a specific purpose. What He has done for me, like I said, I used to be one of you sitting there, and when I used to watch people, I used to be like, wow, one day I want to be a speaker addressing people, and it has come to pass. And I believe this for all of you. One day, the Harare Business Forum will be like, sir, please, we want to hear your story. Please come and share with the people. If it can happen to me, it can happen to you. I want you to turn to your neighbor and say, give them a handshake and say, neighbor, shake my hand for the last time. Because the next time you might have to go through my PA. Shake your other neighbor's hand, say, neighbor, shake my hand for the last time. Because the next time, you just might cost you. Harare Business Forum, thank you very much.